What's going on YouTube? How are you guys today? My name's Mike, and today we have a new installment of Tackle Chat. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and I don't know, it kind of just seems like a cold weather thing for me to do, especially when the fishing just isn't too great. I literally went out and caught a dinker the other day, and it felt like an ice cube. So we're gonna get straight into this and talk about some baits I'm going to be trying this winter, and maybe this will give you guys some ideas for you to try this winter and get those lazy bass. Alright, before we get into the baits, everything I'm going to be throwing this winter is going to be on my new 6 Sense Fishing ESP rod. This is the, God, can't wait to have a bunch of room. If you noticed, the tackle wall is kind of bare. That's because we got some exciting things going on here, and you guys will see soon. But anyway, I'm going to be casting my 6'11" medium moderate ESP spinning rod. I really like a spinning rod for my finesse baits. Right now I've got a Neddy Rig tied on, which is one of the style of baits I'm going to be using this winter. Basically, I chose the Neddy Rig because it's a Neddy Rig. It works really well in the cold water for those super lazy bass. Looks like a bait fish or a crawfish digging around at the bottom. Look, it's super small profile, so it's going to be an easy meal for them, so they don't have to try real hard. And really all I'm going to do with this, cast it out there. I'm going to let it sink to the bottom. I'm going to wait till I feel the bottom, and I'm just going to lift up the rod. I'm going to drag it super slow, because when I say these fish are lazy and they feel like ice cubes when they come out of the water, it's because that water is probably in the 30s or 40s, and yeah, they don't want to do crap. So Neddy Rig with a Ned Fry from 6 Sense Fishing. I really like the Ned Fry. It really helps stand these baits up. So you guys get a closer look here. I'm gonna just take, because there's no room here. Closer look up of this bait. Still got some weeds on there, some goose feather. But there's that Ned Fry on a Z-Man shroom head there. It keeps, the Ned Fry keeps his bait standing straight up at all times because it floats, and we still have a ton of action with that plastic on there. It's really good plastic. I really like it. It's not quite Elastec, but it has some of the same properties. I think it's better than Elastec. I hate Elastec, so. But yeah, I'm gonna be casting everything on the 6'11" medium moderate ESP spinning rod. Put that away, maybe. Jesus. Alrighty. So, another bait that could probably go on the Neddy Rig is gonna be the Stroker Craw 2.4. I got this in green pumpkin. Can't go wrong with green pumpkin. Such a good color anywhere, especially with clear water. And then I got a few other colors just in case the water gets a little chalked up like it does in the winter. Around here at least it does. I don't know why. I think it's the plant die-off, but the Stroker Craw 2.4. Get that out of the package just in case you guys have never seen that before. I mean, it is super small. Stroker Craw 2.4 inches. Let's get a comparison to my thumb here. Super tiny crawfish style bait. That'll be perfect on a Neddy Rig as well. And then I've also rigged this up on a drop shot before. I'm gonna be trying to do a lot of drop shotting this winter, so that is another rig I will be trying this winter to try to get after those more finicky bass that are kind of just, you know, they're sitting there suspended a little bit, and they're probably going to be suspended more off the bottom rather than higher up, because the bottom is going to be probably where the warmer water is, especially when the sun isn't like heating up the top layer as much. So a drop shotted stroker crawl, or I don't know, I guess you could use some soft plastic jerk baits or really small paddle tail swim baits as a drop shot too, but I am going to use the stroker crawl because I think it's perfect size. Honestly, I rigged it up before, tested it out a little bit, and it works really well, and it sinks super fast. So once that gets to the bottom, you kind of work it along a few inches away from the bottom. That's the nice thing about the drop shot. You're keeping your bait normally a couple inches from the bottom, so you got your weight down here and your bait's up here, kind of dragging along. So eventually, hopefully, if you're fishing from the bank or your boat or whatever, you're doing your fan cast, eventually you're gonna run into something, probably, hopefully it's gonna be right in front of their face, and they're gonna basically have zero choice but to eat it, because they're gonna be super opportunistic right now. And yeah. And if you didn't have any Neddy Rig style baits, or the stroker crawl, the really tiny crawfish, you could take something like a stick bait, or my favorite preference is watermelon candy clout 5.4 from 6 Cents Fishing. You can cut these in half, and they actually make really great Ned baits. So you cut one of these in half, you get the tail end and you get the front end, and they're both really great looking Ned baits. So that is a full clout worm in my favorite color, cut in half. You can either have a meatier chunky Ned bait, and it works really well, still stands up, or you can have a more slimmed down version with the tail end. I found that out last year, and it works pretty dang well, so I always have a pack of clout worms all cut up in half. And those work really well as Ned baits. And again, just dragging the bottom with that, or just kind of giving a little hops along the bottom. Next up, one bait that just came out recently, or one rig, is the swing shaker. This is an articulating shaky head, basically. So we'll get one out of the package just to show you here. This is the 3/16 size 3/0 hook, and I got it in the green pumpkin color. I got it in all three colors: it's black, raw, and green pumpkin. The hook swings freely. Got a little bait keeper screw lock here for easy Texas rigging. And then, sorry, Black Rifle Espresso is getting to me. And then I'm gonna throw a 6.3 Divine Shaky Worm on there. Melon Dawn is my favorite color. If you didn't know already. So you take one of these out, and I don't necessarily know why this is such a great bait when the water gets cold, but maybe they see this sticking out from the bottom better, just kind of milling around at the bottom. That's kind of gets them fired up. I don't know why. It's kind of like a finesse presentation that's a bigger meal, so they probably see a bigger meal where they don't have to try as hard still. So basically I'm making it so these fish don't have to try hard. I have to try hard because I'm trying to make sure these fish don't have to try hard, so they actually eat the bait. So you'll put that on the screw lock, so you can see That's free movement. And then you Texas rig it. Just like any other bait. Texapose it, whatever. And then you got a shaky head that swings freely. I mean, yeah, that's throwing that tail everywhere, side to side, whatever. A ton of action. So it's gonna be down at the bottom where the fish are, making a lot of movement, getting their attention, and hopefully that actually convinces them to move and go after a bait, which I've had success with a shaky worm before in March, when the water, that's just after ice off, so the water is super cold, and these work really well. Take a sip of some Black Rifle espresso mocha. It's like 4 in the morning while I'm filming this, which that's really good if you guys want to try it. So I think I got 2 more baits here that I'm going to be throwing on this spinning setup this winter. So I've noticed something with a little bit of flash in winter. As long as you slow roll it and you're fan casting, you're eventually going to run into a bass or something that is actually going to want to move, or you're just going to get it in front of their face, which is kind of usually what happens. I think is you just end up running into them. But something with a little bit of flash, that is going to be a Divine Underspin from 6th Sense Fishing. By the way, if you guys want to pick up any of these lures, you go to 6thsensefishing.com and use code MGF10, save 10% off. Send me a screenshot of that order with the code in there, and I'll give you a shout out on Instagram. Just DM me a screenshot of it. Anyway, the Divine Underspin with the Divine swim bait on the back. I think a smaller Divine swim bait is gonna be better, so probably like bait 3.2, and then as small as a Divine Underspin as you can get. I think this is a 1/4 ounce size. They might make smaller, I gotta check again, but this is really nice. The other day I caught something with a little bit of flash. It was an inline spinner, so I think a Divine Underspin would work really well, just as a basically as a search bait. I think this is gonna help you find the fish in the cold water a lot faster, hopefully. That's my idea. I still have to go out and test it some more, but I think this is gonna work really well. And if you didn't want the flash, maybe you wanted to drag something across the bottom still, because I've heard swim baits dragged across the bottom are really great. Take that same swim bait and just use a Divine swim jig head exposed hook. With that screw lock, you're never gonna lose that bait. That should work really well. Drag it across the bottom, slow rolling it, and I mean slow. That's another reason why I like the spinning rod, because I can just get it so slow. I don't need a special bait caster or anything like that. Alrighty, some honorable mentions. This will not be thrown on the spinning rod because it's a little big. A 6-inch Savage Gear 3D trout drag across the bottom. I think it's gonna be something that'd be really good. Or if it's in a shad pattern, whatever, a bigger style swim bait, drag across the bottom, big old boot tail, really slow on a heavier rod. It's gonna be a good idea. I think I still have to try it out, but if you listen to people like Tactical Bass, and they're always talking about these slow roll on the bottom, and I think they often say in winter time, this is a really great bait. Or just baits like this and bigger are really great. So that's something I'm gonna try. Maybe you guys can try that too, and let me know if you ever have in the comments down below. And then a jerkbait, obviously, a suspending jerkbait, a slow sink jerkbait. 6 Sense has the Provoke 106X in the normal suspending, and then now they have a slow sink version, which is super cool. I've never used a slow sink jerkbait, but I'm excited to try it. That's another one. I don't know where mine went. I seem to have lost my Provoke 106X, but whatever, I'll find it, or I'll just go buy more. But that is another great bait. I've had success after ice off with that before too, around steep edges. So I wouldn't say it's quite a drop off, but the really steep slopes down into some deeper water, I found some really good bass with the Provoke 106X. Alrighty, we're here to the end of the video. I hope you guys really liked this video. I hope you found it informative, even if you already knew all this stuff. And leave down in the comments if you have any other suggestions. I've just recently caught my first bass in November and it was a dinker, so I'm really trying to figure out how to fish in November in this super cold water. So yeah, leave any suggestions in the comments down below, or any lures that you would also try, add to this list. Yeah, tell me what you liked and what you didn't like, and then always hit that subscribe button, and leave a like if you liked it. But I'll see you guys on the next one, and don't forget to explore for fish.